So, I mean, I guess while we're in the neighborhood, we can go check on Fina and Jebba. Well, now that we've done all that, let's go back to the mines. I've got all my good equipment. I've got all the silver equipment. I'm pretty well equipped. But I still need to grind to level 10. So, you know, why don't I just skip that? So, now I'm level 10. Hey, look at that. I'm at level 10, so that's max level in this game. There's zero experience because there's no more experience to gain. So I should be able to take on whatever's past this door, now that I'm well equipped and high enough level. It's another boss. So this boss, well, this is everybody's favorite boss because he's kind of a pain. When he's in this bat swarm mode, you can't really do any damage to him. In fact, he'll do all the damage to you. You don't want to get caught up in that swarm because every single one of those bats will do damage to you, and they do a nice little chunk. And it might not do, you know, it might not hurt you so bad if you only get hit once, but you don't want to get caught up in it. You only get kind of like a small window to actually attack him when he reforms. When he reforms, he'll open up his wings a little bit, and that's pretty much when you want to hit him. If you come in too early, he'll still be in the middle of reforming, and some of these bats will actually still be around, and you'll take damage. I think that actually happens to me somewhere in this fight. If you go in too late, and he closes up his wings, you won't actually do any damage. A good way to avoid the bats so you don't take too much damage during this fight is when he pops out and when he's about to go back into swarm mode, you kind of want to not be too far away from the bats because you want them to kind of zero in on your location, kind of give yourself enough room to maneuver. So basically, like if he's in the lower left corner, where you kind of want to be is in the lower right corner. Sometimes it can work out if you don't do that, but he doesn't always like tighten up the swarm. Sometimes he'll just stay spread out, so you can't really count on that to work too much. Or at least you can't really count on it to work super reliably. There's no real way to make this go any quicker. I think you're pretty much just at the mercy of whenever he decides to pop out at you, and then you could just take the attack. So if you really want it to go quicker, just, you know, make sure you get him every single time he comes out. I don't know if there's some kind of special speedrunner trick for this fight other than, you know, just being on point. but I'm guessing this is one of the parts that would give a speedrunner a hard time. If you've been talking to the townsfolk up to this point, you can actually learn that Rastin Mines, like, they actually had like a small little village outside the mines. It was like a little mining town, and you find out that a horde of demonic bats came by and just pretty much razed everything to the ground. And that's pretty much what we're fighting right now. We're fighting those bats that we would have heard about if we were talking to the townspeople. There's no real way to make this faster, unfortunately, but I only need one more good hit on him, and we should be fine. Alright, there we go, finally. I will take this book. Well, that's odd. Well, there's nothing left to do here, so we may as well just go back to town. So, I mean, you know the drill by this point. I used my wings, now I'm going to buy another wing, so I have one. So there's not a whole lot left to do at this point, but there are a couple little side quests we can do, and I'm going to do one of them right now. Now, in order for this side quest to actually like unlock, or not really unlock, but in order for it to trigger, you have to have talked to Iris in Zepik Village, and there's also a dialogue with the people in the clinic in Barbados that actually triggers after you get the short sword. And the only way you'll actually be able to trigger this quest is if you've triggered both of those dialogues. And here's what that dialogue looks like. You're kind of supposed to come here and talk to them after you get the free sword from Slav. That's when they say this stuff to you. But I didn't actually show that or do it, so I had to do that after the fact. But after you've done both of those things, you'll see this scene. There's so many more pickers there than when we first started this game. Well, I don't really appreciate getting hit so much, so I'm gonna beat up those monsters. So, I mean, we're hoping the guy can make it home okay, but I mean, you know, this is a video game, so clearly he's not going to make it home okay on his own. We're going to have to go find him. So I'm going to go find him. So he's going to be in a place we've actually been to now, and it's a newer place because we only just went there recently. He's actually somewhere near the Rototree to the west, but he's not quite near the Rototree. He's in this area. After a while, we start hearing the sounds of a fight. And you can't... Oh, wow. It sounds like wherever he is, he's really getting the business. You can't really follow the sound because the sound, it's not like stereo or surround anything. You just kind of got to find him. Now, the thing is, his location isn't exactly random, but him and the monster fighting him do tend to move around a bit, so I can never really find him real quick. So the rest of this video is going to be pretty dialogue heavy, so that's going to be pretty much it from me. For now. But what about that piece of paper we found? Well, we can return it to its rightful owner. But who is that rightful owner? Well, I mean, we just come up to these rafters and we'll see. There she is. If you equip the piece of paper and look at it when you're not close enough to Rhea, and if you look at the item description, archaic language, well, that sounds right up Rhea's alley. Let's give it to her. Let's see what she thinks of it.